This is Forging the Man with Keaton Wilson. I think it's probably best to start off with one of the most important aspects of being a man, in my opinion, is accountability and responsibility. I think the biggest growth that a man can have is to look back on his past decisions, whether they were good or bad, and see not what the other person did or didn't do, and what they did, and really analyze how did I act in that situation? Did I like the way that I talked to that person? Did I like the way that I was expressing myself? Was I expressing myself in an authentic way? And for the bad decisions or just ways that you didn't like how it turned out, okay? Instead of seeing the sins and decisions of others, did I react in a way that I respect? It's really easy to blame others for the things that they've done and for the season of life that we're in. I think a really low hanging fruit is childhood. I think a lot of people blame their parents for where they're at in life. You know, oh, my dad was never around, or, you know, my dad left me, or my mom was too coddling, or she wasn't coddling enough. And so this is why I do this, and this is why my life is a mess. And sure, there may be truth to that. I'm not ignoring anybody's experiences. I think our experiences are the most important thing about us, and I think that's what makes us who we are. And reframing our experiences to see the good in them, I think, is a true marker of growth. But, you know, as a grown adult, especially as a grown man, it doesn't matter what your past was. Even it really doesn't even really matter what you've done in the past. Looking back on the past and analyzing and your decisions and your behaviors, I think that is vital of being a man. But not beating yourself up. I think giving yourself grace is you taking responsibility for that. Yeah, I was in the wrong. I didn't like the way I spoke. I didn't like the decisions that I made. But I forgive myself, and I'm able to learn from this. I think that's taking responsibility for it and accountability for knowing that you were in the wrong or you were in the right. But you can't blame others for where you're at in life, for what you have, for what you don't have. Because honestly, at the end of the day, doesn't matter who helped you, who didn't help you. If you're rich or poor, fat or skinny, it's because of you. You have to see that on such a deep level and know that to your core that I'm here because of me. Yes, I had help or lack of help, but I'm here because of me, because I made my decisions. I did what I needed to do. And blaming your childhood is just, you see it so much. And, our childhood does have a lot of effect on us, but what has a bigger effect on us is not allowing our childhood to have a big effect on us. I know that's such a weird thing to say, but just own your shit, man. Just, yeah, that happened to me, and it's kind of fucked up, yeah, like my dad didn't show me love or whatever it was, but I'm a grown man. I'm not going to blame another grown man for how me, a grown man, is acting. You know, that's not what a man does. What a man does is like, okay, the way I'm acting and behaving right now is not acceptable. And that's okay to say that to yourself. It's not acceptable. You have to keep yourself in check. A man is someone that self-regulates and self-disciplines, and but you got to check in with yourself. Okay? Am I owning my shit? Am I taking responsibility and accountability? Am I taking the easy way? These are questions you have to ask yourself. I'll give you an example. So I work in sales and I work in the logistics industry. And for people that don't know what that is, um, it's basically I'm a freight broker. So um, I cold call companies and email companies, offering my services. Hey, I have a database of truck drivers. I can basically pick up anywhere in the world, primarily the United States, North America, but um, you know, all the stuff, air shipments and ocean. So I recently closed a customer and so the way that I'll paint the picture for you. So my customer has a customer, which was the person receiving the product. My job was to have the product picked up from a facility and delivered to my customer's customer. Simple job, right? So that the way that this shipment was supposed to pan out, my customer bought product from a different company and had it repackaged with their logos and essentially his customer thought that it was coming from their facility, but my customer bought the product from a different facility and upcharged a little bit and had it shipped to them. So the paperwork was supposed to show my customer's name on it. And my customer beforehand sent me that paperwork and was like, hey, it's important that the truck driver has this paperwork signed, especially at the delivery. you know, and I was sure, okay, it's a pretty common thing. There's nothing really scummy about that or anything. But I was like, sure, yeah, we can do that. So I actually get the load covered, and I have a truck ready to pick it up. They pick it up, everything goes smooth. Um, they get to the receiver, and they get offloaded. They sent me the paperwork. Okay, the paperwork was the shippers, so it had the shipper's name on it, and it was stamped with their name everywhere on it, not my customer's name on it. And I was like, crap. I didn't send the correct paperwork to my carrier to have them print that off and sign it. And so I was faced with a couple options here. I can lie to my customer and tell them, hey, you know, I sent this paperwork to the carrier and they didn't print it off and have it signed like they were supposed to do. Or I could take accountability and be like, hey, I didn't do what I was supposed to do. And it seems like such a small thing. And honestly, it probably is. But, for me, it was a very big issue. It's a very big problem. I just closed this customer and I wanted to service them and look the best I can, especially for the first shipment that I'm running for them. The first shipment, the first impression with anyone is vital. So I asked my mentor. He works with me and he helps me with like sales questions or anything that I need help with, and I asked him about it, and I was kind of stressing. I was kind of spazzing, not really spazzing, but just I was like I was upset about it. I was like, oh man, dude, I fucked up. Why did I do this? Especially I've been working in the industry for going on 4 years. Like this was such a fuck up, and it shouldn't have been. I've been doing this for years. And he kind of laughed and whatnot, but I was kind of stressing about it. I was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna lose this customer. Shoot. And working in logistics, a big thing that freight brokers would tell people is just like, hey, I'm an honest person, and that's how they try to sell themselves. But working with a lot of brokers, they're not honest. They'll make up little white lies to kind of keep their customers happy or not stress about things. But that's just not the way that I like to roll. You know, I have to go to sleep at night with my decisions. And a goal that I have is to be a good man. To forge the man that I want to be. So even though it was such a tough decision for me to take accountability for not handling what I was supposed to handle was very tough. It's not an easy thing to swallow your pride and to be faced with your mistakes and have to be like, yeah, I fucked up. I did, and there's no excuse. I didn't make any excuse. I emailed him something along the lines of like, hey, this never got sent or printed off, and this is the only paperwork I have. Um, I take full accountability and responsibility for this failure. You just got to take, sure, a little white lie could have made it a little bit better, if you want to say, for me. But at the end of the day, why go ahead and build this relationship on a lie? If you want to improve and do better, don't say I'll do better tomorrow because that shit never pans out, man. Don't bullshit yourself. You've been saying it to yourself for years. Oh, I'll start tomorrow or I'll do better tomorrow. No, dude, fuck that. If you are so serious about the person that you are and you're just tired of the bullshit, man, you got to act now. The only thing that's real is right now. The past has already happened. You can't change it. I think looking back on the past and reflecting on it and analyzing it, like I said earlier, is a wonderful thing. I think it's a good tool. Um, it can kind of prepare you, but not dwelling on the past. You have a responsibility to better yourself, and dwelling on the past is you not handling that correctly. And I tend to overthink things a lot, or I used to. Let me reframe that. I'm working towards not overthinking, and I'm doing a pretty good job of that. But the future's not real. We're not promised the future. We're not promised tomorrow, you know. But right now is right here, and I can take responsibility and accountability for right now. That's what being a man is. A man is someone that does take accountability and responsibility for their actions. That's what makes you a man. It's not how much you can lift weights or how fast you can run or how tall or whatever that is. I mean, yeah, those are manly traits, don't get me wrong, and they're cool and fun, but it's what makes the man is between the ears. your mentality, you know, your self awareness, your responsibilities that you pick up, your accountability for your mistakes. That's what a man is. And if you're a husband or a father, how are you not going to own your shit? You know, a man is supposed to lead his family, and to lead your family, you have to continually get better. You have to improve. People are watching you. Your kids are watching you. Like, they're going to model themselves after you. Your wife looks up to you for security, safety. And if you're not owning your shit, how's she going to respect you? Your wife has to respect you. Your woman has to respect you. And she's not going to respect you if you aren't doing what you're supposed to be doing. And what you should be doing is taking accountability and responsibility for your shit. What you're eating. Are you eating like shit and wondering why I'm fat? Okay, let's take accountability. I'm eating like ass. I need to, clean my diet up a little bit and taking accountability for that. That's so important. But in taking accountability for it is not beating yourself up over it. Yeah, I've been eating like shit and that sucks and I'm not where I want to be. But I'm going to have mercy on myself. But I'm going to be stern with myself, and talk to yourself, man. Like, get in tune with yourself. I talk to myself like how I'm talking to this microphone right now. Like, Keaton, you're doing really good. I'm so proud of you. Like, the changes that you're making, and it's so awesome, but maybe you need to change in this area. So let's start working towards that. Start talking to yourself like you're your best friend. Become your best friend. But yeah, taking accountability for your life and your life decisions. If you're eating like shit and you're fat and you look ugly, maybe be like, okay, let's make some reasonable steps and changes here. I'm not going to throw out all the foods that I like, but let's do a 70-30. I'll eat 70% clean and 30% the foods I enjoy, you know. Just making these small steps, but you got to make the step. Your responsibility from taking the accountability is to make that step. You can't be stagnant. A man should always be moving with a purpose. It's okay to move backwards. You're moving. You can learn from moving backwards. You can move forward. You're propelling. I take that back. Yeah, no, I take that back. I think there is periods in life that being stagnant is moving forward. For instance, so I've been making a lot of changes in my life. I've been doing a lot of soul searching and taking accountability and responsibility. And so I've lost quite a bit of weight. And I've been really packing on muscle because I kind of hit a plateau in my weight loss. And it kind of bummed me out, and I kind of went off what I was doing for a couple weeks. Um, you know, uh, it was not a good change, but I had to reflect, be like, okay, look, you're kind of eating like shit. Don't throw all this progress out, all this self love and respect for this instant pleasure. So what did I do? Okay, I reflected. I took accountability and responsibility for what I was doing, and realized I needed a little bit of help. So I got a health advisor. I use the First Form. You can get on there. It's like $30 a month, and I'm working with someone. He's helping me with my nutrition, and we're kind of coming at it at a different angle than what I was doing. Right now, we're doing maintenance calories. Um, I've upped my calories quite a bit, and I'm eating a lot cleaner. But I'm eating at maintenance, so I'm not really losing a lot of weight. I mean, you fluctuate, but I'm not gaining weight, so I am kind of stagnant. But in that stagnant state, I'm actually moving forward. You know, if you're not moving forward in your stagnant state, then that's bad. I'll say that's bad. But sometimes it is okay to be stagnant, but you're preparing. It's not quite ready for that step, but you're preparing for that step. So you are kind of moving forward. So right now, we're building my metabolism up. I've been upping my steps. My protein, I've been hitting my consistent protein goals, hitting my macros as best as I can, staying within my calories as best as I can. Um, so right now we're kind of, you know, we're waiting for the gunshot. I'm building up myself. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm staying stagnant right now, but I'm ready for it. And then once we feel that it's time for me to lower my calories and get a little bit more aggressive with the fat loss, then that's what I'll do. Then I'm making that step. But since I did stay stagnant, those steps are going to be a lot better and a lot bigger than if I was to just kind of try to push to the plateau and just kind of like really grind it out for little results. You got to work smarter, not harder. Working hard is great, and I love a good hustle. Don't get me wrong, I'm hustling every day. But hustle smartly. Yes, smartly. Is that a word? Smartly? We're rocking with it. Smartly is a word now, if it isn't. So you got to work smartly. Just just always think ahead. Not everything has to go to the plan, but have a plan. You have to have a target to aim at. If you don't have a target to aim at, it's useless. You can have all the motivation in the world. You can have all the discipline in the world. But if you don't have something you're working towards, you won't go anywhere. Look at it like a bow and arrow or like a flashlight. You know, I have to I have this small little arrowhead. And I got to shoot it somewhere. I'm just going to shoot it in the air? No, that's pointless. No, I'm going to have that little target down the range. It's going to have that bullseye right there. And my goal is to use this arrow, hit right smack dab in the middle. I have something that I'm focusing on. I have something that I'm working on. And it's okay to miss that target. Don't be afraid to miss the target. If you're trying something new for the first time, try to fail. If anything, I've learned more from my failures than I have my successes. You know, I mean, don't be afraid to fail. If you're opening up your first business, the chances of this being the big one is very, 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 very small. But that's okay. You have to take a risk. A man has to take risk. That is an attribute of masculinity, is taking these risks. And I'm not saying be stupid with your risk, have calculated risk. But you still need that little area of the unknown, like this, I don't know. But that's what makes you a man. That's what is important, is just that you're living in your masculinity, that you're forging the man that you want to be. It's so easy to get scared of our responsibilities and scared of taking accountability for our mistakes or even our successes. You take accountability for the good things that you do as well. But you have to man up. What you do right now determines your right now tomorrow. Tomorrow's not promised. Right now is promised. If you want to be a better man, act now. So, back with my customer, I could have lied. Yeah, I could have lied. It would have been probably a lot easier, but that's such a bitch thing to do. What kind of man are you to not take accountability and responsibility for your mistakes? How am I going to get better? I save a lot of quotes, and I come up with a lot of like proverbs that I think of from my life or my experiences or whatnot. And I saw this one quote. I don't know by who it's from or if it's even by anybody significant. It says, if you want to feel better, blame others. If you want to be better, blame yourself. People can fuck you over and people can do shitty things to you all the time, and that's not cool. That's not acceptable. But what people do to you is none of your business. That only affects you as much as you allow it to affect you. What did I do? Did I optimize my performance in that situation? Did I speak clearly and concisely? The words that I used, were they authentically me? Reflect on these things. Take accountability. Other people's sins are none of your responsibility. It's not your responsibility. It's none of your business, even if it's directly directed at you. You have to forgive others for that because you've made mistakes too. Be better right now. And you don't have to make crazy changes. Just don't lie anymore. The first couple times that you are actually truthful, especially if it's in big situations, it's going to suck very badly. It's going to suck because it's a change to your system. Okay, I'm not going to white lie this, or I'm not going to save my skin. And people will respect you so much more if you're honest. You know, I'm a pretty honest person. I try to be for the most part. And people respect me for that. If I say that I'm sick and I can't come into work, that's because I'm sick and I can't come into work. You know, if I don't want to go out with my friends, I'm not going to make up some kind of excuse to not go out with them. Just, I don't want to go out tonight. And I feel like once you make that change to actually take accountability, responsibility, not lie, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Once you make a change, it's not always going to be received well. And you have to be okay with that. You got to take accountability for that. But it's like, who are you living for? Ask yourself, who am I living for? Am I living for the validation of others? Or am I living for the validation of myself, for my respect? Yeah, respect of others is great, and it comes only when you start to only care about your self-respect. Respecting yourself is how you cultivate respect from others. There's another quote that I saw today. Let me see if I can find it. There's two of them. First one goes, everything wants you when you want nothing. Peace comes when you stop chasing and let life come to you. And I think that can kind of tie into that. Like, don't chase respect from others. Don't chase validation from others. Once you start pursuing validation and respect from yourself, that's when that other shit comes. Don't chase, attract. Do not chase, attract. Do you want honest people in your life? Be honest. Simple as that. The more honest you are, the people that you attract will be more honest. But you have to want the best from yourself. You have to forge the man. And it all starts with you. If you want to make a change in the world, change yourself. Because when people see that you're actually truly making a change in your life, that shit is so intoxicating to people. Like, people will be so attracted to you. Better opportunities will open up. I feel like becoming a better person, being a better man, it can either open more opportunities or close opportunities. But I feel like the quality of the opportunity is better. I'd rather have 4 great opportunities in front of me than 20 all right or shitty opportunities. But you have to ask yourself, am I taking accountability for my life, my responsibility for my life? You have to really have that mindset. You can't have this bitch victim mindset of like, oh, this person did this to me, so this is why I'm like this. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? Own your shit. Be a man and make that change. Just a step. Just move fucking forward. I can't, we all were weak at one point. I was weak. And just looking back on the person that I was fucking disgusts me. And just seeing men that were like what I was like makes me sick to my stomach. It makes me feel so bad for them. It makes me pity them. And it's like, grow the fuck up. Grab yourself by the fucking balls and demand respect from yourself. Do the shit that you know you should be doing. You don't have to do it full force, but you got to start doing it right now. Take accountability for your life. Take responsibility and fucking go outside and run. Do fucking 2 push-ups. If you can't do a push-up, do a fucking, I don't know, just sit down on a chair and get up 10 fucking times. It doesn't matter. You got to have something to do. Start regulating your emotions. Take responsibility for your emotions. That's a tough one for me. Go to therapy. A lot of people think therapy's so taboo and like, oh, I don't need therapy. Everybody fucking needs therapy. Don't give me that bullshit. Everybody can use therapy. I don't care who you are. Fucking Christopher Columbus, Justin Bieber. Everybody can use therapy. You're not too hot shit for therapy. Therapy is the biggest tool that you can put in your toolbox to see why you're reacting, to see why you do things in your mind. How can you take accountability for shit that you didn't know was an issue? You got to go to the source of that shit, man. And like I said earlier, a man is between the ears. You got to clean the inside of the cup before you can clean the outside of the cup. I hope this resonates with a lot of people. I hope that people can see this as a new opportunity to live the life that you deserve, that you want. But you gotta start taking accountability. You got to take responsibility. I can't say it enough. Responsibility, accountability. It's 2 of the biggest things that as a man you should be doing. In all things, small and big. Nothing's ever too small to take accountability or responsibility. You do it for everything. If you fuck up, you fucked up. And taking accountability is, you don't have to tell people that you fucked up. It's just acknowledging that within yourself. Hey, I fucked up. I'm going to tell people by acting better, by not making this mistake again. Or if I make this mistake again, just never stop trying to fix that mistake. And it's just Being a man is never giving up. You know, you may struggle with something for the rest of your life, but it's just that act of never giving up, to always going to war with yourself. That's what a fucking man is. And that's what we're missing in this day and age. Shit, dude. Just a year ago, dude, I was such a pussy, you know? And it's just, I was such a bitch, so needy, seeking validation from others. And it's just like, once I started cultivating respect for myself and seeing how fucking dope I was, and taking accountability and responsibility. So when I did do that, I made better decisions. And if I didn't, I learned from them. It's an ongoing cycle. Men, if you want change in your life, it's just as simple as taking accountability and responsibility for your life. Simple as that. But you have to want this. Nobody's coming to save you. You have two saviors in your life. First one's Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, died on the cross for your sins, for your salvation. The other one's you. You know, there's things that you're praying for, and God's wanting to give them to you so bad. You're asking for them, and He knows that you want them, and He wants to give them to you so bad. But you're not doing your part. You have to do your part. You don't have to do anybody else's part. You have to do yours. It's simple as that. And the shit sucks. It sucks. You know, I don't like taking responsibility and accountability, but I know I have to. I know that's, as a man, it's my responsibility. I have to do this shit. If I don't, I'll never respect myself. And if you don't have self-respect, what are you? I don't care if anyone ever likes or respects me anymore. That's not the person I am anymore. If you don't like me, fuck you. Like, I don't hate you, but just fuck you. I don't need you. I go to sleep at night knowing who I am as a man. You know, I see the vision. I see my target. You know, I'm aiming at my target. I'm getting better at shooting that fucking arrow every day. I'm 1% better every day. I go to sleep at night knowing that I tried. Not every day has to be perfect to try. You don't got to kill every day. There's going to be some days that you just did good enough. But good enough is okay. Don't let perfect get in the way of good enough. And the only way to start this change into becoming a true masculine man is by taking accountability and responsibility. If you just do those two fucking things right there, take accountability and responsibility for your own actions, not for others, by putting that mirror in front of you, your life will change and be so much better. It would be so much better. Your mind will fucking change. Your mindset will change. You'll see shit differently. You'll start reframing things. And reframing is a whole nother topic that I would love to dive a lot more in on. It's been my vocab word for 2025. It's such a powerful tool. But I think I've rambled long enough on this one. I think you got the point. Just own your shit. Take accountability, responsibility for your actions. Be better right now. Right now is the only thing that's real. Analyze what you've done in the past. Don't beat yourself up. Your right now is going to determine your right now tomorrow. And then tomorrow's right now is going to determine that next day's right now. That's where growth is owning the right now. It's never easy to own up to your mistakes, but they're yours. Own that it's yours. These mistakes are yours. Own it. Be a man. Grow the fuck up. grow some balls, and just try.